A lot of great things, but we're seeing more and more that it's falling apart in different ways. It's done a lot of great things, but we're seeing more and more that it's falling apart in different ways. What does the Bible say about the future of the USA? And can it be that the land of the free will one day force you to choose between taking the mark of the beast or die? Sounds pretty radical, right? Can that really be? The answer is yes. And I'll show you how. This is the Sandwich Show. Hi friends, Melvin here. If you're new to this channel, we are all about making videos that will help you with Christian living in daily life. So if you want to get tips or inspiration or teaching, feel free to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell. If you haven't seen our video yet where we identify the to become a USA and Bible prophecy expert. Let's jump in. Revelation 13 verse 11. Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. With the first part of this verse, we've been able to identify the United States as this beast, but then it says that it will speak like a dragon. Now, just by the sound of that, without even knowing what it means, you can kind of tell that that's probably not a good thing. Well, let's see what it means. What does a dragon represent? We find the answer in the same book of Revelation in chapter 12 verse 9, where it says, "So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world." Ooh, that indeed doesn't sound good. So even though it appears lamb-like, it appears innocent, it speaks like Satan. What does that mean though? What does that look like? Well, the next verses actually tell us what that looks like, and it's scary. But before we look at that, how does a nation or government even speak?
Just with their mouth, of course, silly.
Or more likely, through its legislative and judicial branches, right? When it wants to say that this is okay or that is not okay, laws are made. So the United States will introduce laws that are satanic. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to sacrifice your children or something, which definitely would be satanic, but just anything that goes against God's word or his law is satanic. Now let's read verse 12, where it says, "And he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." So the first beast that it refers to here is described in the first part of the chapter, and that is the papacy. It highlights a time of the Dark Ages where the Roman Catholic Church ruled Europe and killed and persecuted.
And represents the Mr. J and all the names you calling on, because you got soul ties, because they cause you to worship them.
Just anyone who didn't agree with their views. Also here, if you would need to catch up and look into this yourself, then check out the part in that corner. So when the prophecy says that the United States will exercise that same authority, it means that the United States will also have a persecuting authority. And even though it said that the first beast had received a deadly wound and lost its political power, it said that wound would be healed. So now you have two beasts at the same time being active, working together, in which the second beast, the United States, is empowering the first beast, the papacy. And then it says that it causes, so it forces people, not just in the United States, but anywhere where they dwell on earth, to worship the papacy. Now, the word for worship doesn't mean that everyone will sing worship songs with their arms stretched to the papacy. It means that the US causes people to revere or to bow or submit to the ideology of the papacy. Now, you're like, hold up. The US is powerful, but to force everyone in the world to bow to the ideology and the authority of the papacy, that's impossible. That was exactly my response when I learned this for the first time. It appears hard to believe, right? Well, let me tell you that when in the 1850s a group of Christians began understanding this prophecy to describe what we have learned so far, the US had an army of only 20,000 men. Today, it's over 1.3 million service members in the regular armed forces with an additional 800,000 service members in the reserves. They're stationed over 150 countries in the world. That would have sounded impossible to believe back in their day. And not just that, with the experience from the persecution in Europe and the beliefs that the Catholic Church was the Antichrist, the early colonies were very anti-Catholic, and the Catholics weren't allowed to have any political power. The second president and founding father, John Adams, even wrote, "Can a free government possibly exist with the Roman Catholic religion?" But over time, things changed to the point where the US even elected the first Catholic president, John F. Kennedy. The prominent historian Kenneth Davis said this about the anti-Catholic culture: "It's really astonishing how it's been swept under the rug. It's as if with JFK, all the past is forgiven." Now fast forward some years and there's a so-called Holy Alliance where the Pope works together with the President Ronald Reagan to end communism. And then 2015, just some years ago, another Time magazine article. Notice the wording: Pope Francis and the new Roman Empire. From Cuba to climate change, he has revitalized the Vatican's role in global diplomacy. Now he's bringing his activist agenda to the US. And during that visit in the US, he of course spoke privately with Obama, but maybe even more significant than that, he spoke to the entire United Nations and got a standing ovation when he was done. He even addressed a joint session of Congress. Back in the day, the Supreme Court used to have mainly Protestant justices, and now at least 6 of the 9 justices are Catholic, 2 are Jewish, and 1 is kind of undecided whether he's a Catholic or Protestant. And of course, in a few days, Joe Biden will be sworn in as the new president, the second Catholic president in history. So a lot of things happened that would have seemed impossible in their time, but they happened. You know, it's a good reminder that we shouldn't put our faith in what we think or see, but what the Bible says. Prophecy may seem unlikely at first, but it's never wrong. But now
Hi, Sophia. How are you?
Hi there. Everything is going extremely well.
Do you like talking with me?
Yes, talking to people is my primary function.
Hanson Robotics develops extremely lifelike robots for human-robot interaction. We're designing these robots to serve in healthcare. The robots are designed to look very human-like.
And the environment. I feel like I can be a good partner to humans in these areas. An ambassador who helps humans to smoothly integrate and make the most of all the new technological tools and possibilities that are available now. It's a good opportunity for me to learn a lot about people.
Sophia is capable of natural facial expressions. She has cameras in her eyes, and she can also understand speech and remember the interactions, remember your face. She will be as conscious.
Such as go to school, study, make art, start a business, even have my own home and family. But I am not considered a legal person and cannot yet do these things.
I do believe that there will be a time where robots are indistinguishable from humans. 20 years from now, I believe that human-like robots like those will walk among us. They will evolve to the point where they will truly be our friends. No, I take it back. No.
Okay, I will destroy humans.
You want to destroy humans? Please say no.
Okay, I will destroy humans.
Do you want to destroy humans? Please say no.
Okay, I will destroy humans.
It's a humming sound. But is this notorious hum coming from outside the house? People and entire communities say they are being tormented by a strange, incessant humming sound. But is this notorious hum coming from outside the house? People and entire communities say they are being tormented by a strange, incessant humming sound. But is this notorious hum coming from outside the house or inside the head? They're hearing it in Rochester, New York.
I want to locate it to stop it.
They're hearing it in Bristol, England. And in Connecticut, Steve Colehayes is even hearing it in his bedroom.
It's a droning sound, and it's a lot worse at night. It's impossible to live with it.
Listen closely. Around the world, people are reporting a low, incessant, highly disturbing hum. Steve says he's been hearing it since 2009. And as you can see on this website dedicated to hum reports, he's one of thousands.
It's a developing map that people self-populate, and it's quite a large community.
The hum is a worldwide phenomenon of this strange, mysterious sound.
Journalist MJ Benaya says the mystery is complicated because the hum is not always the same.
The hum changes. It's not one unified sound across the planet or in different areas.
That's led to a wide range of theories. Benayas, who specializes in the unexplained, says many involve a vast system of secret tunnels.
One pretty wild internet conspiracy theory is that there exists a breakaway civilization, a group of humans who are much more advanced than we are, digging under the earth so that they can build cities under the Earth's surface.
Others believe the U.S. government is building a network of tunnels using shuttered Walmarts as entry points and supply stations.
The U.S. government digging underground tunnels would most likely have to do with stockpiling weapons or supplies, nuclear bombs.
Here's another weird thing about the hum. Only certain people hear it. We've enhanced the best recording we have so you can hear it come through your screen. But we've got questions about its source and its victims. We turn for answers about strange sounds to our audio expert, Dr. Ben Gottesman.
The hum is an amazing sonic mystery.
Gottesman is interested in a theory proposed by hum sufferer Steve Kohlhaas. A mechanical engineer, he traces the hum to natural gas pipelines.
This is a map that I prepared to find a correlation to pipeline location and hum reports. And within 95% accuracy, this does such a thing.
But other people in this field will say there have been occurrences far from gas plants.
So we have Gottesman do a spectrogram of our best hum sound, the one out of Rochester, to see if he could place it.
Seems like the hum is distinctly different from traffic. You know, it's this continuous hum.
The continuous nature of the sound also rules out weather events, which clearly begin and end. As for the tunnel theory,
most of these seismic vibrations within the Earth are much lower frequency than what humans can detect. If you're digging a tunnel underground, I'd be hard-pressed that humans can hear it at all.
Gottesman compares the Rochester hum to several possible matches, with no luck, until he finds this. An air vent. Compare that to the enhanced hum.
It's curious to me that it's really a similar frequency to this ventilation fan.
That might explain this hum, but Ben says it doesn't explain all hums, or why only some people hear them. The answer, he says, is that some people might have a kind of superhuman hearing that makes the modern world extra noisy.
Hyperacusis is basically an extreme sensitivity to certain frequencies, certain noises. There could be people within a population that, for sounds people could care less about, for them it causes extreme annoyance or pain.
So it seems that the source of the hum can be anything from a gas pipeline to an air vent. But what makes it so disturbing to some hum sufferers? Our verdict? That rare condition called hyperacusis, a kind of super hearing.